Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour, live from the Real Talk Studios here in Runnymede, New Jersey. Matson City, the broken one, Rob Povia. And on over here, the Darkwing Brian Daly, sporting a sweet new Paul Correa jersey.
Damn right. What up, fam?
And right behind the board is the sign guy, Mr. Ryan Brodo.
Gentlemen, how are you?
I'm sure he'll make his presence felt throughout the rest of this show.
That was so seductive.
Yeah.
Bring him in, bro. Bring him in.
I'm building to it. I'm building to it. What did you say to me, Brian?
I didn't say nothing. I was.
Oh, man. So, we are the Hockey Happy Hour here on A2DRadio.com, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. If you got any aches and pains or any kind of stingers or what have you that are just bothering you and keeping you up at night, go visit Dr. Paul Vidal, and he'll get you nice and taken care of, and you won't have any more aches and pains. You'll feel like a new you at the end of the day. It's much better than Globogen. But anyway.
Much better.
Globogen.
All right, guys. You can find them at SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. And gentlemen, I can safely say this. The first half was very intriguing for the Flyers. It had a lot of great moments, and it had a lot of shitty moments too, but in specific ways. It had shitty moments on the road, great moments at home. Maybe in the second half we could get a little sprinkling of, good moments on the road, possibly. Maybe.
Be nice.
Yeah, just a little bit, especially considering the fact they start up tomorrow and they are in Pittsburgh. So
You're
I'm
going to
actually
need
be up
him.
for that game. I'm actually kind of excited.
Nice. Yeah, you're going to need him. I mean, at this point, it's pretty much split down the middle. 16 home, 16 away to round out the season.
Ooh, boy, yeah, they really definitely need to win games on the road. Meanwhile, we're actually watching a game. Speaking of games that are on the road, we're watching the Devils and the Predators right now, and I am really hoping that the Devils lose this game because I really don't want the Devils to succeed ever, like at anything in life.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about that. The Devils are still pretty much at the bottom of the barrel.
They are, but I would like to see them lose. It means more. I get to soak in the suffering of the Devils fan base.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm okay with Nashville losing. So
Yeah, well, I'm sure you are.
Yeah, that makes one of you.
yeah, that does make one.
Yeah,
Numbers are a fun thing.
Yes, they are.
math is fun.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I can guarantee you that. But anyway.
Numbers are hard. Well, apparently so is skating.
And scoring a goal. But anyway. All right.
That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Whoopsie.
oh, look. Oh, ice is slippery.
Who would have thought?
He's got his PK Subban, too.
Couldn't have happened to a finer gentleman.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Oh, well. All right, so it's the
Duchesne
end of
Potts
regulation in that game. So, all right, we could talk about the Flyers now. I mean, it is a Flyer show, isn't it? But anyway.
Not going to Bride. It's a hockey show.
Yeah.
That's true.
Watch your mouth.
It's a Flyer show. But anyway.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to him.
Shut your whore mouth, you hooker.
Oh, it's a fabulous comment.
That's great.
All right, so after the first half of the Flyers, what's like your biggest takeaway from this team going into the All-Star break? Konechny being the All-Star of the team, being the best player on the team because he was in the first half. We can all safely say that. I mean, we could say there are other guys who were there with him, but in terms of being an impact, I think we can safely say Konechny was a major impact for the team in the first half.
I think Konechny's been an impact. Drew's been an impact. But my biggest takeaway, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago on the last show, was the resiliency of this team, the ability for this team to keep battling back and showing no signs of really wanting to give up and just let teams walk all over them. I mean, they have games like that once in a while, sure, but all in all, they don't really quit. And that's kind of been something that I've taken away big time. They're very, very resilient.
Big time. I mean, not only that, but you're getting resiliency out of a very young roster. And you're getting a lot of guys playing really above their year-old age. Joel Farabee being the top of the list in my book.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And And you got to love just the fire and the intensity that this team has to it when it's time to make it
That's a
happen,
shame.
at the end of the day.
That's a shame.
But the only thing, though, is I do take away a couple of concerns. One is getting off to slow starts, which they have done, both in home and on the road. However, the big negative to tie into that is on the road, they let it bother them, and they let it cost them games. Whereas at home, they completely say, we're in Philly. Fuck you, other team. We're going to win this game here tonight. It seems like there's two different teams. It's almost like they've got a split personality disorder. You've got a team that is very shaky when it's, wearing the white roads, and a team that is strong, determined, confident when they're wearing the home orange here.
It's an inability to take the crowd out of the game. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of the times the Flyers let the home teams take the lead and the crowds get into it, and they can't seem to battle back and take the crowd out of it, and that plays a huge factor for most home teams. You feed off of that energy that your fans give you, and when you're on the road and you can't get anything going because the fans are feeding into whoever you're playing against, it's tough. You can't. It's really, really difficult to battle back when you're dealing with all that.
And to your point from quite a few shows back, not only were there a lot of road trips, there were a lot of lengthy road trips on the road for 2 weeks plus, which certainly had to be responsible a little bit for them being roughly about 3 games under 500 on the road.
Yeah.
Now they did shore it up and clean it up with a strong win against St. Louis before the break. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come on the other side of the break.
Not just St. Louis, Washington, Boston, all these other top teams in the league.
I mean, but the major goal, though, for them is to obviously keep the momentum. They did go with a win into the break over Pittsburgh, which is always a pleasant thing to see. And it was a great victory, too, because Elliott shut him out, which was even better.
Old stomping grounds.
Yeah. And what really makes it but my biggest concern, though, is still the road. And the reason why I'm very worried about it is because our division is so just lovely that if we lose 1 or 2 real precious games on the road because we're a shit road team, that could mean us either making or missing the playoffs.
Wow, that was almost a really nice play by Goose.
Thank God he screwed it up. But it's one of those things where, it's getting to the point where it's starting to become a joke, where it's like this team can't win shit on the road. And it's like, that's my biggest problem. And I take a lot of positives out of the first half, but I take that one major negative. And it wouldn't bother me so much if the Flyers had just as many solid wins on the road as they do losses. And they don't. They have a lot of very embarrassing losses on the road and maybe 1 or 2 gut check wins.
Right. One could argue only 3 games under 500. Well, they're not as terrible as you're making it out, but if you actually watch the games, as obviously you do, you're seeing that them getting crushed and not doing any crushing on the road. So I get your point.
And to be fair, yes, they were facing very good teams in some of those games. Teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs come that time in the West or even in the East. But it's like, it's still not an excuse. Like, I don't care who you're facing. You could face the fucking Red Army team that won how many gold medals and how many trophies. Like, I don't give a shit if you're in freaking Moscow. You fucking go out there and you play like a team that's got a chance to win. You cannot play scared to anybody, And if you're allowing these teams to intimidate you or you're allowing teams to stack up on you, it's like you are losing. You're going to wind up missing the playoffs. It's like you have to get at least to 500 on the road. That's the main goal that I'm taking here.
Right.
You have to get either to 500 or stay at least a game above 500 on the road. There's no going back under. You cannot go back under because you said it's split even and even now. It's like there's not enough home games to make up for sloppy, terrible losses on the road.
And as you said, playing a lot within the division, I'm sure – a handful or more than a handful of games are going to be on the road. In regard to the poll, that's going to make it very tough for them to get into the top 3 in a very jam-packed Metropolitan, where not only do you have Penguins playing a lot better with Crosby back, Islanders are right there in the mix. Carolina, Columbus is clawed into it. So, I mean, you're talking about what difference between Carolina and the Flyers being difference of 2 to 3 points.
Yeah.
So, those keep getting not only the 2 points, but the 2 points in regulation, not allowing the other squad to get a 1 point in return.
Yeah, absolutely. Winning games on the road is going to be huge, especially going forward. Teams that win playoff series, they win games on the road. Teams that get to the conference finals win games on the road. I think the second half, you're really going to see this Flyers team come out and start really putting their foot down to the pedal. They want to get to the playoffs. Fletcher's built this team to be a playoff team, to potentially in the next year to be a cup contender, depending on the moves made at the deadline, which, by the way, I do have the top 20 guys on the trade block right now.
Nice.
Okay,
so,
cool.
So remind me a little later on, and we'll
talk about that.
Wasn't
we'll
it so interesting going through that and seeing how many names we've already talked on this show over the past? I'm like, damn, we're smart for being dumb people.
I'm a dumbass, but when it comes to hockey, I'm actually kind of brilliant. But there are a couple names I want to bring up later that we didn't that aren't. On the list.
There's a couple more that play. Absolutely. Well, based on the numbers right now, the Flyers' total projected win total is sitting at 42.9. Their probability of winning the division is less than 1%. I mean,
well,
in the division with
the
the
way
Capitals,
Washington,
the way that the Caps playing this year, no.
Right. No, not. I mean, they'd have to really collapse, and Washington has done that. But
they have.
Probability of making the playoffs, though, is what I wanted to get to, and that's sitting at 46.8% right now. So to Chuck Fletcher's chagrin, they're roughly 50-50 right now to make the playoffs. You got to like those chances better than blackjack.
Oh, I honestly, considering where the Ducks are sitting right now, I would absolutely take 50-50. 50-50s.
Right.
Would you hit on that though? Are you sure?
Yep, I would.
You're gonna hit? Okay, hit me.
50-50. You got to take a shot.
And a big thing, too, with the Flyers, and you always see this, they always struggle in the row category, regulation overtime wins. It's only at 22 right now, which is really one of the lower totals of all the playoff teams.
And it's actually kind of funny considering how many overtime games they've had this year.
Yeah, they've had a pretty good amount. I mean, it
just goes to show you when they're actually getting the overtime, they're not winning those games.
Right.
Yeah, it's again one of those things that. But again, though, out of the negative that I pulled out, though, that's the only.
Or they're going to a shootout. Sorry.
Yeah, which would result in. Which actually, to be fair, the Flyers have done a lot better in the shootout this year than they have in previous years. So there's that at least going for us.
But I mean, the shootout doesn't go to your row.
No, it doesn't go to that. Yeah, but
I said, Llama, how about a little something for the effort? On your deathbed, you will experience extreme consciousness. So I got that going for me.
A little feistiness going on with Palmieri here. Palmieri and Ekholm.
Nice.
Yeah,
saw his name on the trade block.
Ekholm or Palmieri?
Palmieri.
Yeah, this sounds about right. They're cleaning house there.
I'll take a Palmieri. You scored on the Flyers every time we faced you. Can you score for the Flyers now?
I'm not surprised. Their Devils are falling into full rebuild mode.
Yeah,
Just
they
like
have
another
to.
team I know.
They have to at this point. I mean, they've traded away.
Oh, it started with Zajac.
Several young. They traded away Taylor Hall. They realized that they weren't going to be able to build a core around him, and Hall is doing what he does out in Phoenix now. So, I'm sorry, Arizona.
He's found his system that works for him.
That's good, man.
Not that he doesn't work in any system, but.
No, I'm happy for him.
He's playing well.
I'm happy he found his place, and it wasn't New Jersey. Good for him. Good for him.
You go back to New Jersey.
So, we've got.
Let's just hope he's just reading a comic over there or something.
What? That he isn't planning on torturing you?
No.
Because that's a given.
His little laugh over there.
That's what I meant.
What are you saying?
I was just saying I was hoping you were reading a comic. That's why you were laughing over there.
No, I'm laughing at you.
I'm sure you are.
I'm laughing at
I
you.
dare you to come over
I'm
and say that on
you.
this side of the
They're all
board.
going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh at you.
No. Come on, man. These guys don't know what you're talking about. At least I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
It's fine.
Is it sad that that's getting old?
No.
We're old.
We are old, but that's not sad.
Yeah, I guess it's not sad.
No, not at all.
All right. So with that, any other major takeaways you guys want to pluck from the first half? Rob, do you have any pluckings of the first half?
We saw the depth, and you saw a lot of young guys, as I said, alluded to before, coming on the roster and showing that they can perform on this level. I don't forget about what Morgan Frost has done in his small time up with this club. David Kase, like I said, to Farabee. So the future's bright. How can you not talk about Oscar Strong in terms of in a first half review? I mean, terrible news, but certainly seeing Lindblom in that first interview, just speaking very positively with his chin up, and that's just such a great fighting spirit, and that shit's contagious.
As somebody who's unfortunately been affected by that horrible disease, that's the first thing you need to do. You need to remain positive about it. You need to know that you're going to fight it and battle and battle and battle and not let it consume you and not let you, because ultimately when you let that disease take you over, it's not going to end very well.
Yeah.
So
That's
a great attitude to have for him.
Yeah, and he's got youth in his corner, so
Yeah, absolutely, and he's in phenomenal shape. So he can go through things
Right.
like the treatment and everything like that. And be able to handle it. Because people don't. Sometimes we forget like how daunting the actual treatment of cancer is, no matter what kind of treatment it is.
Wow.
Beautiful.
You guys are getting
with the beautiful backhand.
You guys are getting some shootout live
the
reactions
shootout,
right now.
Nashville, Jersey, not cancer. It's not beautiful. The game.
No. Yeah. You're right. Yes.
But
Sorry, ADD. But anyway.
No. Believe you me,
Another-
that was over explanation on my behalf.
listen, another takeaway you could say is special teams and their improvement this year.
Yeah,
Being middle of
especially
the
on a
road
penalty kill.
being middle of the road on the power play, and then being the last I saw was top 10 in penalty kill this year. It's huge. It leads to success. Killing off penalties leads to success. It leads to wins. It leads to, playoff chances in the playoffs, runs in the playoffs. So they need to keep up that mentality of keeping pucks out and out on penalty kill, killing penalties, and supporting whoever's in net.
What I'll be interested in seeing is, Carter Hart coming back from his first major injury of his career. Oh, what a move. I caught that out of the corner of my
Comes
eye.
down to Julie the Cat Gaffney.
That's full on.
I don't know with those.
I would say Goldberg, but
gonna
we all know where he is.
Yeah.
I don't know with those slow
He
reflexes.
tried the triple deke, but he fell.
He tried the Forsberg.
He did. He
One
got
inch
close.
the other way, and it
He
would have been
really
in.
got
Quarter of an
close.
inch.
Quarter of an inch.
Quarter of an inch
All
the
right,
other
come
way, and I
on.
would have went in.
Come on, Rene, finish this one off.
Yeah!
There we go.
Let's go shake their hands.
Yeah.
What's next to the best thing to a Flyers
Good
win?
work, Captain
Devil's
Duck.
loss.
Or Penguins lost.
Thanks,
Either
Gunner.
one. Doesn't matter. It works.
Matty missed that one.
Wait, what did I miss? I'm sorry. I was distracted. I was soaking in the suffering of the New Jersey Devils.
that's great.
fans.
Brian and I were
man.
reenacting the final scene from D2 Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
Where he was Gunner, and he was like, just do it again. Just do it again.
No, I can't do it
Take
again.
two. Let's take two.
No.
Let's
He's
try,
got to
let's
go
try.
back.
We gotta do it.
He's got to
Adversity.
go back.
Adversity.
We're on the podcast on Apple now and SoundCloud and all that stuff. So he can go back and he can rewind later.
He said, "Good work, Captain Duck." And I was like, "Thanks, Gunner."
That's great.
Shameless
You had to be
plugs.
there, Matty. You had to be there.
Well, eating ice cream with the enemy, huh, Coach? But anyway. All right.
Yeah.
So.
That's great.
But before that, Devils lost there, saying that Carter Hart coming back from his first major injury, that's going to be interesting to see that, does he miss a beat? Does he go right back to, because he was getting really hot and correcting some of those road numbers, to your point, Brian, right before the break, or not right before the break, but before he got injured. And, it's another test, and this young season and this young career of his, it's going to be interesting how he responds.
Well, when's he hasn't been medically cleared yet, but after I think it's like one more week that they said that he has, and then it will be like a medical clear. He was out for like how many days? Like
I believe 3 weeks was the estimation for the.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks was the estimation, and he's been out about a week and a half now.
Okay, then.
Right.
So
maybe a little bit more.
By the time that injury comes to a close, let me see who the Flyers would be matching up against here. Okay, so he could conceivably have a matchup with the Islanders in the Nassau Coliseum. That's a rough one to bring him back on, but it would be a great test for him.
That place is still standing.
You know, and then what other ones do we have here?
That place is still standing.
Got the Panthers that he could be facing in Florida and Tampa in Tampa. So they got a rough road trip that'll be coming up when he gets back. But, you know, I wouldn't mind it if, like, he can come out and he can, you know, handle himself fine. It's one of those things where, you know what, you don't want to baby him. And it's like, you know what, we know you just came back from injury. It's going to be a tough game. Mm-hmm. But it's going to make a man out of you. You know, you go out there and go up to Nassau Coliseum and deal with the New York Islanders in their building, which the Flyers have not played well in this year at all. So an opportunity for them to get a win in there. Because, again, if we keep pace, if I had to, my money would probably be on us facing the Islanders if we wound up, you know, taking a division spot. If we're going based on if I agree with the poll and we get third place in the division, most likely we're going to face the Islanders. And if that happens, then it's like, okay, this is going to be a bitch of a series because that is one of the worst teams to draw in any of the teams in the division.
That's team, as we saw during the skills competition with Matt Barzell.
Oh, God. Real quick, I'm going to jump to some of these comments real quick. We got our resident Canadian, my favorite personal. Well, actually, he's got some competition now to be my favorite Canadian. Sorry, James. There's a couple girls on my list right now that are battling with me. He says, I'm finally awake for the hockey happy hour. Let's fucking go!
Fucking go!
That's right, James. And the Devils lost, so it's a good night.
I thought that was a pretty good imitation.
It was very good.
Because he does like the fucking go!
I thought he was in the room with us. I thought he said right here.
Fucking love James. My favorite person.
That'd be a dream. He came down to Jersey, sit right here, talk some hockey. That'd be great.
Hell yeah,
Frank Vespi chiming in.
Come on, sign guy.
Trying to make a meme over here, and this guy, Brodo, I need you for something.
Listen, we pay you to make sound effects.
I mean,
if
I didn't tell you, you would yell at me.
We're not really paying him.
I was reading the recent.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
John Cena!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Says, hey, yo, sorry to bother you at work. I still think this team is going to end up as a wild card at best. But if they make a smart trade, I could see them getting in the top 3. And that's actually something I mentioned earlier was see what happens at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Andy Ritter says, have fun, guys. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Check him on in this very ring, and his nights seem to change. So I'm not exactly sure.
On weekends here on A2D.
On weekends here on A2D.
And
Whenever the people call him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And congratulations on your promotion to be the stat guy for Lazy Booking.
Yes.
We know that was a tough promotion.
He's been promoted.
I have no idea what that means. But anyway.
You don't know what? Never mind.
I'm just not going to go there.
No. Neither will I.
Vespi also says, here's my Joe Thornton sucks comment for the night. Thanks, Frank.
The obligatory one.
David Roski says, what's up, our boys, our Ducks won for Kobe. I hope so. That was a shame. And I know we're a little late into the show, but I just want to throw this out there. My condolences to the Bryant family and every other family involved in that horrific helicopter crash. So prayers and condolences, and I hope they get through this terrible time as easy as possible.
I think it's just great to see that it wasn't just in the basketball world, but every sport paying homage to Kobe. I mean, to your point there, I was even watching AEW last night, and one of the wrestlers came out in a Kobe Bryant jersey. I mean, just goes to show how much of life Kobe touched beyond the basketball.
It's even
court.
in golf, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Justin Thomas and Max Homa.
Not even them. Another guy who was golfing today in the Waste Management Phoenix Open was wearing purple and yellow Nikes.
Oh, wow.
I think he was wearing Kobe's.
Probably Keegan Bradley.
No. Finau?
Oh, Tony Finau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about, the level of talent that Kobe had and everything like that. It's like, I mean, I didn't care about basketball, didn't really watch it, but I knew who Kobe Bryant was, and I knew he was he was the best player in the league for a very long time. He owned the league for a very long time, and
He played like, what, 20 seasons, right?
About
Yeah.
that.
yeah, and it's it's tough when you see anybody leave, and it's one of those things where it's just like, now it's up to the people who carry on, not just Kobe's family, but the families of those other people, but also to the whole communities of basketball and everything to carry on the image and the legacy and keeping positivity towards it, like to bring everything closer together, after such a tragic moment.
And he doesn't have just ties to L.A. He's got ties to this area.
Yep.
Being from Lower Merion or Upper Darby, one of the
Lower Merion. Well, he went to Lower Merion.
He went to Lower Merion. I wasn't sure, but anyway.
Right.
He's a legend in his own right. He's a legend in the NBA. He's a legend in a bunch of different communities. And I know every time he comes here, he takes time out of his busy schedules to go pay homage to his alma mater, to certain basketball leagues, to just different parts of the community, even here. And, much respect to the man, not just the basketball player, but the man, Kobe Bryant, and he's going to be missed.
Yeah, absolutely.
While everybody was getting sad, I got pissed off. I was like, why do people got to take fucking helicopters, man? I mean, I get it that you can die in a car crash too, but it just seems so unnecessary, you know, and especially when you have, teenagers, that were killed in this crash as well.
It wasn't so much the helicopter that was the issue. It was the fact that there was heavy, dense fog.
Well, yeah, no, I get the causation, and all other helicopters were grounded, but yet this pilot, decided to, I can handle it, and I get it, and that was the causation, and that generally, but you hear about you hear about this helicopter crash because of the celebrity involved, right? But so many other helicopter crashes, both in the military as well as, pedestrian, civilian, it seems like, especially when it was a half an hour helicopter plane ride, so that you'd estimate it maybe, 2-hour car drive?
About that.
Drive the car, man. You know what I mean? Especially when you got young kids. I was pissed. I mean, y'all may hate me for this, but I was like, why do you got to be a fucking big shot? Yeah, so you got a lot of money. Okay, great. Drive a car. Take regular modes of transportation. It's unfounded, my anger. And I'll be foremost to admit it, but that's how I reacted to it. And I hope that maybe as long as a person's life gives a lesson, and I think we can get many of them from Kobe, then it's just more justifiable in my book.
Well, hopefully it was a situation where they tried to back out of it, but the pilot talked them back into it. But, I'm not going to go any further than that.
It's one of those things where you simply say, use your common sense. If it's a heavy, dense fog and helicopter, it's like probably shouldn't do the helicopter. It's just you got to use your common sense and be like, nope, I don't care how good this pilot is. This pilot could be the greatest pilot that has ever flown a helicopter. I don't care. I am not getting on it.
Kobe's going to be missed. Certainly, Gianna's going to be missed, and all those people. I watched the husband of one of the mothers that died in the crash speaking on CNN, and obviously they'll be missed. But what I will say is that I'm going to keep shooting, and I'm going to keep yelling out Kobe when I do it.
Absolutely. Let's get back to hockey.
Yes, sounds good.
All right, we got Greg Milakovic chiming in. What's up, Greg? You can catch him on several different shows here on ATG Radio.
Everywhere.
He's all over the place. Said, my guys, what's good? Hockey is finally back. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. He agrees to the poll.
All right, then.
All right.
Tom Arnaud saying, what's up, guys?
I'm really going to want to see the
Tom
results
is.
of this poll, too. This is going to be interesting.
David Raska, Goldberg is an idiot, referring to Sean Weiss, who was arrested for burglary and meth once again.
Be careful. You might get nominated as douchiest comment of the year like I did earlier today. I mean, obviously it's sad, people, and I even said that. My heart goes out to the man, and, drugs are a hell of a thing. But at least he lost that baby weight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
not going to get into what I said.
I'm obviously joking. And, you guys just, if you can't, I have family in recovery, and they always tell me, if you don't laugh at life, you're going to get consumed by it. And that mantra is stuck with me.
Yeah, that's a great mantra to have, because it is like life can be too serious. So you got to stop sometimes and just laugh at the situations, even if it's at yourself.
Yeah.
I laugh at myself all the time.
I'm
an idiot.
I thought my comment was hilarious, though.
My comment yesterday was hilarious, but I'm not going to repeat it on the air, at least. Get me in a lot of trouble.
Well, wait a minute. You don't want to repeat what you said?
No,
here?
I can't.
It's a safe environment here. We
It
don't
doesn't
judge
matter.
here.
It doesn't matter. I can't say it on the air.
Over the line!
That would be. You heard it earlier.
His toe was over the line.
Ah, no, it was.
What
What are we, living in a PC world? Oh. Never mind. All right, go ahead.
Actually, what I said was never mind. Tom Arnaud says to the poll, I sure as hell hope so. Steph says, referring to our little minor tribute, if that's what you want to call it, to Kobe Bryant, accidents happen when accidents happen, and unfortunately, it's true.
Yep.
Sean Scarabazzi, Sean, what's up, man? Says it was over a 3-hour car ride, 45-minute flight. It was a dense fog when and where they took off from. And he actually jumping into hockey here, says about time to take it to the Pens tomorrow.
Yeah, buddy.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
I'm actually really looking forward to that game. That's all, pretty much all we got for right now.
I mean, that's going to be it's a weird home and home that they have. They do the one game in Philly, go on the All-Star break, and then come back, and now they're going to do the game in Pittsburgh. I'm like, I have never seen a home and home done like this.
Well,
who
had a
seen
weird
that
home and home?
Who's our schedule maker, Goldberg?
Well done.
I'm going to get kicked off
done.
this show if I keep on talking.
Well done.
Shut my
I like
mouth.
that one. Actually,
Seriously,
it's
it's been a weird
up.
schedule, yeah.
Apparently, I saw an article that the Flyers are
Doing
filing
crack?
a complaint about schedule making this year.
Nice. Good for them.
Good. I don't blame them. And if they
Buffalo.
And hey, if they are doing crack, then awesome.
Buffalo
Hear
had
that,
a weird
kids?
home and home.
What's that?
Buffalo had a weird home and home too. They played San Jose in a home and home.
Yeah.
Played one game. I forget which order it was, but they played one game, had 2 days off, and then played the second game.
I'm not really complaining about this one, though, because back-to-backs are tough. And if you're playing a back-to-back against one of the better teams in the league, Pittsburgh, I'd like 10 days in between it.
Absolutely.
I think that benefits the Flyers more than it would benefit. Well, it benefits both teams, but
No, absolutely
I think
benefits
Flyers a little
both teams.
more.
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing, though. It really doesn't matter how the structure is. After the All-Star break, you've had a chance to rest. You've recovered from a bit of the first half. Konechny got a chance to be, for the very first time, an All-Star, hopefully of many more times to come. And now you roll into this game in Pittsburgh. You know what? You walk into it. I like it in this regard. It's a great test for them to come into the second half to have to try and get a demon off their back and to bury it, because when you go on the road, first game on the second half, this is where it really counts. All the marbles. You cannot fuck this up. You can't. What better way to slay the dragon, to exorcise the demon, than to beat Pittsburgh in their building? You then face the Avs. You are facing them in our building, so it's a different story, but then you go on the road for a little period of time next week. And it's like, okay, you got several road games coming up.
They're saying Carter Hart's going to be out at least another week.
Well, that's fine and all. And I'm not worried.
I just saw that in the Inquirer. Yeah, he said.
Yeah, it came across the news ticker.
Okay.
Needs another week to recover from his abdominal strain.
Okay.
While Hart is feeling significantly better, according to General Manager Chuck Fletcher, he will not return to play for a minimum of 7 days.
All right, that's fine. I mean, hey, don't rush him back.
Oh yeah,
And it's but
when you have Elliott, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. That's a great.
And he's playing well.
Right,
yes.
exactly.
But overall, it comes to the point of this is a chance to exercise those road demons. Get them done. Take care of it now. Get some swagger on the road going. Beat Pittsburgh in their building. Go to Detroit next week. Beat the shit out of a team that is rebuilding in their building. Like start getting some road swagger going, and you'll be fine. That will finally be like, okay, it seems like we've exercised our road demons. And I'm not saying you're going to win every road game. You're still going to lose games.
I'm going to start nicknaming you Ace. You have exercised the demons.
It's a perfect time to do it. And I like that about this, coming out here and having several road games coming out to this new second half. It's like, perfect. Chance to fix the problem right now. Yes, starting a second half, but what better way to do it than now?
Pittsburgh's going to be a bit of a challenge. You should beat Detroit, but
it is.
Those are the teams that you think are the ones that are down and out are the ones you really got to play hard against because they're the ones that are – they're going to catch you off guard.
Oh, yeah.
And that's usually the Flyers' bugaboo, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Playing down to lower teams.
Yeah, it's a Philadelphia trend. Like all Philadelphia teams do it.
What I like though is that to your point of there being a decent amount of road games following this break. Well, if it's 16-16 and you're doing again, it's going to be when you get down to the later months of the season, more dominant at home. I think there was one month where they had 8 home games. I think that was February, and being a short month too.
And they need to catch They need to win as many games as they possibly can. It's going to be a heavy division, 32 games,
right?
Because I know a lot of the teams they're going to play, especially going into the last month. It's all division teams.
Right. Well, I mean, we've alluded to the poll question, but where do you boys sit on it?
I think they could. I want to see what they do with the trade deadline, but I absolutely think they could. I think it's going to be Washington is 1, the Islanders is 2, and I think the Flyers wind up in 3.
I actually agree. I think the Flyers wind up in 3rd place in the division. I think that now is the time for them. And the Flyers have, in the past, routinely been a much better second-half team than a first-half team, as we've looked at the last 6 years of Flyers hockey will tell you.
I think my next Anaheim Ducks jersey is going to be our number 1 pick. Alexis Lafreniere.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then.
God, we need him.
But let me take a look at the schedule coming up here. So,
spread your wings and fly, baby.
Fly in a V.
I don't have wings.
Yes, you do. You're a duck. You're not a lady.
I love that
duck.
you hear the water in that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Splish
You
and
hear a
splash.
little splash.
Agreed.
Brian, you're not a lady. You're a duck. Enjoy it.
You're right. I'm not a lady.
I'm not a duck.
This is
I'm
getting-
a man.
This is getting awkward. It's getting awkward real quick.
What?
Somebody change the subject.
What's your point with the schedule?
Oh, I was just going to see how many road
Thank you,
games
Rob.
we had coming up. I just wanted to keep, see how much he sweated.
Agreed.
Lights. But anyway, back to the schedule. Okay. All right. Pittsburgh is the first game, obviously. Then we face Colorado at home. Detroit on Monday. What do we got here on Wednesday? We got nothing on Wednesday. Okay, then. And we face the Devils at home on Thursday, which I'll be there, so hopefully they'll win that game, which is why I was hoping the Devils would lose tonight, because that and also the fact that I can't stand the Devils. All right, big one coming up.
He loves torturing
I'm still looking to go to that Avalanche game because not only would it be great to see the Avalanche play, and stud puppy Nate McKinnon live, which I've never seen, but it's gritty.
once.
It's gritty Chia Pet night.
Oh, that's the best part
Go
of
to
it.
CVS. You can get one.
Yeah, I'm still working on. I actually through a business associate know Brian Prop, and I'm hoping to get in with Sweet.
Oh, that'd be great.
Nice.
Yeah, hoping.
Nice.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Are, co-hosts available?
Oh, you're all coming with me if I make this happen.
I wish I could.
You two and Steph. Let's go.
Hell
Let's roll.
wish I
yeah.
could.
Let's do it. Let's do it up. And then,
Steph will go. I know she would.
So
She
we got-
wouldn't hesitate.
and
It's
we
her
got-
birthday, actually. Happy early birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And
I think maybe I just risked that. Maybe not supposed to be public knowledge. You can, hate me all you want. Sorry about that.
It's all right. They're not listening.
She'll hunt you down.
I just realized after I said it.
It's all right.
Oh no, she's
She said,
she's
nice
there.
flex. I
No,
guess,
no,
talking
not
with the
staff.
sweep.
I wasn't talking about staff. I was talking about the people with Brian Prop. They ain't listening. You're okay.
Thanks.
She said, "Oh, thanks."
Oh, cool.
All right. So we
I
got.
put my foot in my mouth more regularly than anybody.
How does it taste?
A little leathery.
Sometimes,
okay.
sometimes
A
I
little dry.
do too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do too. It's all right. Everybody does it.
See.
Oh what?
I'm sorry.
Oh what?
What? I was just talking to myself.
I heard you go. Oh.
We're just waiting for
Maybe
Brodo
there
to
was something-
strike. We know it's coming.
I'm just chilling. I'm chilling.
I'm not giving him any. Reason to, I'm not giving him any reason to come at me tonight.
Do you really? That's my favorite one. Do you really need it? Does Brodo really need a reason to come after you?
No, not really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you talking about? What you
Just, I'm
talking
not really
about,
giving
Willis?
him a reason to.
Anyway, all right. So after all of that, Flyers getting some big road games next week or next Saturday is against Washington in their building. That might as well circle that date on your calendar because that's a big game right there.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've been thinking about something. I got in a couple arguments today. Steph, you probably know where I'm going to go with this because you were part of the discussion. Also, Ovechkin has 693 career goals at 34. Wayne Gretzky has 894 in his career. There's give or take about 6 years left in also Ovechkin's career. Do you think he's going to find that 200 goals and break Wayne Gretzky's goal record?
I think he'll be shy by about 100. I think
That
he'll
much?
get.
No.
I think he'll be shy about 100. Honestly, I mean,
I
he'll
think
make.
he breaks it.
You think he breaks it?
I think he breaks it, and I think he breaks it by a good amount.
I don't know. He lives hard, man. I don't
He
know if
does
he can
live
reach
hard,
40.
but he plays hard too.
I mean,
and you know
Yager
what?
did
He's-
too, though, and he played till
All right,
45.
let's put it to you. All right, let's.
But that's models.
All right.
Models help you play that long.
Yes, they do.
And keep him looking that young.
Yes.
He's going to play longer than Yager, for sure.
Yeah.
Because Yager played to what, 42?
Was it 40?
It was 42, 43,
Was it 42?
right?
Oh, okay. I misspoke that. I thought it was 45.
I think he's 45 now.
Yeah,
right?
that's probably what it is. I probably saw his age on his number.
So, all right. So, and let's say he plays to 42. No, screw it. Say he plays to 40. That's 6 years from now.
Right.
You don't think he scores 100 goals in that span? 200 goals in that
Jeez,
span?
when you put it in that
250 in that span?
like I actually had a similar discussion to this separate from your discussion, and I was like, no way. I mean, he'll pass Lemieux. Or he passed Lemieux? He just passed Lemieux.
Just past somebody. I think it was Lemieux.
Yeah. But I just thought I saw targeting whoever's second on the list that, he'll take over
I think
second.
it's Messier.
Yeah, Messier. That's who
Yeah,
it
it
is,
is
right?
Messier.
And I was like, he'll pass Messier, but I was like, no shot in hell he reaches Gretzky. But when you put it in that context,
6 years and only 200 goals.
I guess I was thinking maybe he's only going to play like max 5, maybe 4 more seasons. But yeah, he could easily play
Even if he
6.
plays 4 more seasons, let's think about it this way. Right now, he's at 35 goals.
Right.
I don't know if the Capitals played today, and I don't know if he scored. I haven't really gotten a chance to look, but that's 35 goals with about 30-some-odd games to go. We'll say 35 games to go. He has never had a season in his career where he's had under 30 goals in a year.
Right.
He's got about 5 or 6 seasons under his belt of 50 or more. One season of 65 goals in a season. He's not slowing down. He's showing no signs of it. I think he shatters Wayne Gretzky's record
Yeah. Right.
by 50 plus.
It's hard to argue with you, man. I think I think you make a great
by
point.
50 plus.
Yeah, because I mean, you said 35 now. Roughly, Flyers have played 50 games. Let's say maybe the max the Capitals have played is 52 games.
Well, he needs
So
his
you have
15 to
30
get to 50.
You have 30 more games. If you get a goal every other game, which is probably off of his pace, there's your 15.
Yep, there's
You
your
know?
15 right there, and that gets him to 50.
Right.
And that'll put him at that'll put him over 700 goals.
Right, and 50 times 4 seasons, there's your 200.
Yup.
Maybe if he starts slowing down towards the end of that, well, you're saying he could play even 5 or 6 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he does break it.
I think he does. I think he we're looking at the greatest pure goal scorer of all time. And I thought that a long time ago. I think he's a little bit of a selfish player. That opinion has changed of late.
I think you have to, if you're going to be the best scorer of all time, you need to be a little selfish because that's
absolutely.
How you get there.
I think earlier in his career he was very selfish. Not so much now, but he's still scoring goals.
Right.
He's hands down the greatest purest goal scorer that I've ever seen play. And I've seen Gretzky.
Yeah.
I've seen Messier. I've seen Lemieux. None of those guys have that scoring ability that Ovechkin does. He is something special. And I would love that I'm getting to watch it.
Yeah.
And I would love to see it. And I will make sure I watch the game that he finally breaks the record. But I definitely think he breaks it by a lot. We're looking at
crush it.
Yeah.
1,000 goals?
Not 1,000, but I think he'll float over 900.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll float well over 900. But that's just me. I just want to get your guys' opinions on that.
Yeah. You changed my mind. If you would have asked me, I would have said no shot in hell. And put in that context, I'll flip flop. I agree with you.
Maddie?
I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, Ovechkin is probably the best pure scorer in the league right now. There's no one else better than him at doing it. And that does include Crosby. But if
Stamkos,
but he gets hurt all the time. It's just like the man is, I swear to God, he's made of glass or pipe cleaners or something because he's never healthy.
They call me Mr. Glass.
That was a great movie.
I love that movie.
Did you see the second one?
Yes.
Oh, it was good.
But I will say this, though. It's, is it impossible? No. Maybe I change I still think he doesn't do it, but I change it. I don't think he misses it by 100. I think he misses it by just a little bit. I think he's shy by a good 20, maybe 15 goals.
Like I said, he's going to be over 700 goals before the season's over. So that puts him at the same amount of time with less.
To Maddie's point and to my earlier point, you're expecting consistent. You got to look at the analytical numbers now. Is he paced to projected? I mean, at this point, yes. But those numbers could also fall off a cliff.
No, absolutely. He could show signs of slowing down next week.
Right.
The next game. You don't really know. But keep in mind, he's still 34 years old.
Right.
He doesn't look it.
Right.
He looks older, but he's only 34.
Live hard, play hard, baby.
He doesn't.
He's got all that gray hair.
He looks like he's 50.
He's only 34. Oh, speaking of the devil.
Yes.
But he's still playing like he's 22, 23 years old.
So if we look back down at this, though, since now we can kind of look at not the twilight, but.
By the way, I want to say what's up to Trevor Harris real quick. He was just checking in real fast.
Hey,
Trevor.
What's
up,
man?
buddy?
Still waiting for that guest spot.
Come on down.
Anyway, I will say right now, now that we're kind of both men are north of 30, and they're not in the twilight of their careers by any stretch of the imagination. Crosby and Ovechkin, out of the two, at this point, and we'll take the Cups out of the equation. Fuck the Cups; they don't matter right now. I'm talking pure on the ice game mentality and how they play around their team and how they make their team play around them. Who is pound for pound the better player to have on the ice for that? Because, I mean, think about it. And screw the Cups. We're not in it doesn't matter who's won more Cups. It doesn't matter at all. They both have won it, so it doesn't matter anymore.
It's a draw. You're good either way. Both guys, especially lately, they both make everybody around them better. They both have that same killer mentality, that closer mentality. They want the puck on their stick at the very end of the game, and you could really go either way. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. I'll take either or.
All right then, Rob. What about you?
Pose the question to me again because I was reading a comment. I'm sorry.
We're not counting the Cups, nothing like that.
Right.
Just what you've seen on the ice. What the mentality is like when they're out on the ice, how they make the team around them either better, or how they play around them, or how the team rallies with them. Pound for pound, who is the better player that you would have on your team, Crosby or Ovechkin, out of the two? Since they both have had the same kind of success, they both have won a cup. Obviously, Crosby more, but that doesn't really matter when you're looking at it just from what you've seen on the ice between these two players.
I think it's very close. I think it's Ovi's physical game that gives him the extra edge for me. Not to say that Crosby can't lay a hit, but can he?
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's
I've
happened.
seen him drop the gloves,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, it's happened. And, he's feisty, and he's a fiery leader. I was very close to getting ostracized from the show and saying Crosby there. But I think Ovi, when a strong hit needs to be made to change the momentum of the team, he can deliver that. And that's rare from the type of, you're talking about maybe potentially the best goal scorer of all time, bringing that physical element. And a lot of those times, those hits are damn chippy and coming from a selfish place. But with that physicalness, I'd have to go Ovechkin.
Of course that game's going to be on Sunday when I'm working.
It's on Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, it's fitting that it would be, but
Yeah,
There's
it
a
comes
debate
on
for
6
you.
hours before the.
Pause that.
Yeah.
It's not working.
But
no,
He
but
has
but for real.
Ovi has the Edge and Hart trophies there. 3-2.
but okay, so Rob, you're going with Ovi. You got neither. You're going to cop out and go option C.
I'm not copping out. I mean, just look at it. I mean,
Hampus Lindholm.
I plead the fifth. I mean, Getzlaf. I mean, you're the one on trial here, not
said
me.
he went neither.
I never said neither. I
Oh,
said
none of the
either.
above. I didn't know that was an option. I might have said that too.
I said
fuck them both. I want both of them.
I said either, not neither.
He's going with option C. Yes.
Tomato. You say you say.
I should have said that, Ryan. Instead of making him repeat the question, I should have went, yes.
Yes, Maddie, I agree. Hashtag agree.
Oh,
You had an opportunity for that, Brian.
And you were
Why do
worried
I
you
come
weren't
back?
going to get the opportunity to strike off Mike.
Why do I come back? Sean says Crosby hands down. Crosby doesn't take shifts off. Ovi does. That's the difference between them.
I mean,
that's
that's
a
a
very
great
solid
point.
point.
And
That is
here's
a solid
my
point.
I go Crosby, and here's my reasoning for it. Has nothing to do with the fact that his team's won Stanley Cups 3 times. We can take that and fuck that. The way I see Crosby is, I see him as more of a captain. Ovi, yes, he is the captain of the Capitals. I'm not saying he doesn't have captain qualities to him, but I see more of that in Crosby.
He's kind of got.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's got. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but he's got the C out of merit more than leadership, I think, and he being Ovi.
I'm seeing more of a leader out of Ovechkin now. I mean, yeah, he does take some of those shifts off and just hangs by the blue line, but
Not that he's not a leader, but in comparison.
yeah,
Is what
I
I'm
mean,
saying,
Crosby's
to his
by
point.
far the better leader.
And
It doesn't
that-
matter who you put on a line with him; he makes everybody around him better.
And that ultimately is the reason why I go Crosby, because you could throw scrubs in there with him. You could have 2-year-olds playing with him, and those 2-year-olds will score 30 goals.
He'll still cry more though than the 2-year-old.
Probably.
Not so
that
much
doesn't,
anymore.
That doesn't deny
Actually,
that.
I've noticed that.
Nah, he's matured.
Yeah, he absolutely has. He's not that 19-year-old kid being dragged around the ice by Darian Hatcher.
Yeah.
Getting that nice little hockey root canal that he got. Nice. But, yes. But he did properly welcome him to Philadelphia. We can safely say Hatcher did.
It's gonna happen eventually, kid.
Yeah. But I will say, though, like, in my opinion, in terms
Like it, damn it.
of where I'm seeing, like, the leadership qualities, it's like, I got to go with Crosby. Only because I've always seen him as, I hate his fucking guts. I wish he'd just roll over and burst into flames. But you know what? The man does elevate everyone's play. When he's out on the ice, you worry so much about Crosby, and you absolutely forget about everybody else on his line, and they're just as dangerous because he just happens to be there. You know? And it's like, you can't teach that.
He's ridiculous with the puck,
You
especially
can't-
when he goes behind the net.
You can't teach that. You can't buy that. You can't find a way to get it into a protein shake. That's just pure unstoppable talent right there of just This is a guy who was born to play hockey. It's as simple as that. At the end of the day, I take him over Ovechkin. Maybe Ovechkin may have some of the stat markers on Crosby, but in the end, I want the leadership more than the stats. Because if you're a guy who likes to chase stats, maybe that becomes your number one priority. Whereas a leader, he doesn't give a shit how many goals he scored this year. What matters is did my team make the playoffs? Is my team that I'm leading got a shot at the Stanley Cup? That's all that matters. I kind of see that vibe from Crosby. Even though I hate his fucking guts, I can't deny it. And he does have a chip on his shoulder, but you're going to when you're that kind of a player, you know? I take Crosby, you know?
I'm shocked.
I'm
shocked because you hate Crosby more than Ray Finkel hates Dan Marino. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you hope he, dies of gonorrhea and goes to hell. Here's a cookie. I'm shocked.
Wow.
But I applaud your honesty, man.
Yeah. I mean,
well, at least Steph agrees with the original. She says, I'm with Rob. Fuck them both.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I absolutely cannot stand Crosby. I don't really hate Ovechkin because, if anything, I felt sorry for the poor guy because it's like no matter how many times he made it year after year in and year out, he always got beat by the Penguins or he always found himself getting eliminated because the team around him failed him or what have you.
No, man. President's Cup curse. Come
that
on.
too.
You know that.
That happened a couple of times. But the point is like, I felt
President's Trophy. Sorry. Wrong sport. President's Cup.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
I even looked over here when you said President's Cup. I'm like, oh, golf? What?
Yep. Wrong sport. Sorry.
Oh,
Ding.
is that my cue?
Brodo, this is not in the fairways.
Phoenix Open, what?
All right. Oh, my God. David Ruska just unfollowed me on Instagram.
Unfollowed you?
Yeah.
Why? What'd you do?
I don't know. Dave!
David, why'd you unfollow
Why'd
him?
you unfollow Brodo?
I just got the alert.
You got a problem with him?
Dave.
Was it all the nude pics you've been posting?
Probably.
Damn it. Come on, Rosca.
I should have known better. I apologize.
Well, I'm going to read off Chrome's comment here while these two... What the hell has happened to the show? Chrome says,
what?
hey, fellas, the Flyers have shown they can play with anyone in the league. Have to figure out their issues on the road. If they do, I believe they climb up the Metro standings. Yeah. All right, Roscoe, where are you at? We want to know why you unfollowed our producer here.
He's lurking. I'll find him.
But with
Of course
that,
he's lurking. He's probably double dipping.
Maybe no. This is what he's doing. He's doing the unfollow follow, so you recognize that he's followed you, so you follow him back.
Oh, I've heard of that technique.
Yeah, seen that done.
Stay quiet, Stephanie.
Fucking
I know where that's gonna go. It's probably your best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay quiet, Stephanie. I have to agree with that one.
I know exactly. I think I know where she's going with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
oh, Chrome has a nice comment though about Ovi.
Oh, hi, Crow.
Oh, I missed that one. He says, I like Ovechkin watching that dude's excitement of... Yeah, I said it right. Excitement of winning. The Stanley Cup was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. He's definitely didn't take any of it for granted. And no, he didn't.
No, and the reason why is because he had no way.
I'm pretty sure
to
he's
take
still
it for
hungover.
granted. Yeah, probably.
And scored 35 goals hungover too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
the Russian in him.
Yeah.
Those
true.
guys, they're warriors.
They can. man.
They're built different than us puny Americans.
Brush your teeth with vodka.
There he is. There he is.
In Soviet Russia,
Yeah.
vodka drink you.
I'm following you on Instagram.
Well,
I thought you said
He's
apparently
back.
not. Apparently you're unfollowing him.
Either that or your account was
This is a
deleted, David.
controversy. I don't know if we're ever gonna get to the
David,
bottom
what
of
are you
this.
doing over there? Why are you leaving? Why you
Unsolved mysteries.
Of A2D.
Rosca David is following you. That's what he said.
I see.
But anyway,
okay.
so yes.
That's enough
So
of
now that
What the fuck is on?
it's something about the Soviet hockey team. But anyway,
USA. Yeah, I think it's highlighting USA.
All right, I know I probably shouldn't do this on TV.
Russian
the
5.
Russian 5. Okay, so
All right, let's watch this.
this Soviet hockey team.
You get on Berto's good side.
WFPO.
Oh, cool. Golf, son. I needed a nap. Anyway. All right.
I've been getting into golf
Can
a
I
little
tell
bit. I've
you-
been assigned a few articles lately.
Can I tell you-
Yeah, I've been getting into reading about the golfers.
Bubba Watson missed a lot of greens today.
Yes. That's what
So
he does.
did Ricky Fowler,
What did he shoot?
who they were playing together.
What did he shoot?
I didn't see the end of it
Why is the golf ball yellow?
because that's what he chooses to use.
Oh.
That's his signature.
Oh, he's not happy with that.
No, he's went off to the right of the green here.
Is that like the reverse Carlton Fisk? Where he's like, no, that's way right. That's gone. That's gone.
Well, he's going this way. Carlton Fisk was this.
But
Get away from the pole!
so with all that being said, though, we got 2 minutes before break. So round it
Yes.
out with this.
Yes, Stephanie, you are more important. That is very true. I
Brian,
hope that came off sincere because that was meant to be sincere.
It did.
Okay,
anyway,
good.
I think everything you say comes off sincere, Brian.
sure?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm a sincere person. I'm genuine.
That's the wholesome moment. Of
I'm
the day.
charming.
Yes.
He's PC.
Yes.
So
Fuck you. Chrome says, hey, guys, what realistic trade targets do you see the Flyers before the deadline?
well, that is a very nice question to ask. We will dive into that on the other side because believe Mr. Daly here, besides the live scoring update that he'll be giving to you guys, has the top 20 guys that are
Thanks,
on the
Damien.
trade deadline block.
Yeah, so I got this done today, just in case you didn't notice. Got my new Paul Correa jersey on.
You guys got to give your
Hope you
opinion.
got home safe from the Philippines, bro. For real. I know you were out there when the volcano went off and everything going on in Australia right now. So I hope you got to and from safe and sound. So
Yeah, 100%.
You guys on the other side have to give your thoughts on the breaking news with obviously the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to address that, too.
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Don't worry,
and the
don't worry.
reported name drop of the new Seattle
Yes.
franchise.
Yes.
That, too.
A lot of things.
We got a lot of
Many
stuff to
things.
talk about.
We
But
got a lot.
we got a lot to talk about on the other side, so you're definitely not going to want to miss that stuff. And like I said, to address what Chrome said, again, Daly does have the top 20 on the trade
Glad to
block,
hear,
and
Damien,
we'll
for
talk,
real.
And we'll talk about that. So with that being said, though, guys, we will be right back here on A2DRadio.com, second half of the Hockey Happy Hour. And we are brought to you by ATSSportspick.com. Not plural, pick. Reason why we are is because we want you guys to make money. And the only way we know properly to make money is to bet on sports. I mean, come on now. That's the best way to do it. Sit at home, put a little money down on a game, watch your team that you bet on win, and double what you put down. Beautiful thing, right?
Biggest sports betting day of the year.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's coming up on the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'll tell you, you guys are in for some big cash-ins, and you can go to ATSSportspick.com to get one of those big payoffs, and you get 20% off, by the way, if you use the promo code A2D, and that way you're not taking as big of a risk as you usually would. You want to play it safe? You can play it safe that way, but getting a 20% discount.
Real quick, Jay Rich saying, let's go Islanders. Jay, thanks for joining on the show, bud.
Jay, hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs, but
Hopefully not.
They're
well,
going to be tough.
'cause
They're a
that
tough
just-
team.
That
that
means
ju-
we're in the third. I got it.
But that also means that, it makes our victory that much more special.
Yeah, you're
When We
right.
get the win on the blue and orange. But
Be the-
anyway.
to be the man, you got to
Matt
beat the
Barzal.
man.
Yeah, that's right.
Matt Barzell. Oh, that's all I got to say.
Yes.
Stud.
So, that will do it for the first half. ATS Sports Pick, sponsor. We'll see you guys right here, A2DRadio.com. Don't miss it. We got plenty coming your way. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Roscoe was calling me. Anyway, all right.
Oh, no, you didn't.
David, stop calling us.
Oh, all right. Welcome back.
We're not that kind of show.
Welcome back to the Hockey Happy Hour.
We treat our fans so well.
We treat our
Oh,
one
we love
fan
David.
so well.
Just stop calling us, Dave.
It's like, Dave, we love you, but please stop calling us.
What do you say? Answer my phone calls.
He says, follow me back on Instagram right now. I am following you. And Stephanie just said, he's busy, Rosca. Jesus.
Oh, David.
All right, so
He's
welcome
incorrigible,
back,
that
ladies
one.
and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. Matt Tsutsuni, Rob Povia, Brian Daly, and the sign guy, the tortured.
I'm not
Mr.
here
Ryan
anymore. I'm
Broder.
not here.
He's
Going
retired.
stealth. I'm going stealth.
you gone incognito.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, no, Ryan, where did you go?
Why are you?
I'm gone. I'm not really here. I'm talking
literally
from a
just
separate
seeing
location.
a floating red Adidas hoodie right now. But anyway,
I had to
really
be
just
put into a
calling
safe
in.
place.
I'm just calling in. I'm not really here.
I see a floating hat
Yes.
from Nike and a red Adidas hoodie.
Yes.
I'm actually kind of
don't
creeped
put
out.
my description. I gotta go home.
If it makes you feel any better, I parked near you, so.
That's good.
Oh, all right. So with that, we are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. If you're feeling any aches and pains like Ryan's probably feeling right now.
Oh, my ribs hurt.
I'm gonna be driving home really fast. It's gonna be fast 9.
If you have any of those, go to the doctor,
can't.
Mr. Paul Vidal. He'll take care of you. You won't have any more aches and pains.
Got a Maserati. You'll be quick. You'll be out of here real quick.
I'll be flying.
Oh, but anyway, go to Specialized Physical Therapy. You can find them at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. And Mr. Daly.
He's gonna be getting a call from me. I think I just pulled something. Oh my god. Oh,
Need the training staff in here, stat.
oh man.
David, you're hurting him.
I just can't stop laughing.
David, please keep calling.
During the break, Maddie's like, I can hear somebody's phone ringing, and I'm thinking, and I'm playing darts over there, and we're like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, it can't be my phone. Who's
I
calling
was
me?
looking
And
at my
everyone knows
phone. I'm
I'm
like, who's
working.
calling me?
And I'm thinking, there's nobody calling me because they know I'm
it
working.
wasn't
I
Rob.
turn
I look at
around.
the Instagram line and it says David Rosca. I'm like, why? Why?
I'm like, how are you doing this?
I'm like, okay. Should I answer?
Oh God. Oh no. Oh God.
It's
Look at
happening
Steph's
again.
comment. Look at Steph's comment.
I can't. I got the score update.
All right, then. Yeah, you take it away, Daly. You do your
All
scoring.
right, I'm gonna do that real quick. 3 games in progress. 3 games total tonight. 1 in progress at the end of the second period. Kings and Coyotes. Coyotes up 2-1. Canadians beat the Sabres by a score of 3-1 tonight.
Nice.
And as the game we were watching on NBCSN, Predators win in the shootout over the Devils 6-5.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm
Oh my
talking
God.
about.
Do I really want to see this?
Light docket tonight.
I think I do. Where is
Yeah,
it?
not a whole lot of games. But hey, you know what? As long as the Devils lost, right? Who cares how many they were?
Great night.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
And on plus for me, the Sabres lost too. Yeah.
You're having a great night.
I'm having a bang up night tonight.
Did you see my comment?
What is
No,
going
this is
on?
all I get. I got to see this.
What the hell is going on?
David's following me.
Oh
is
my
cool.
god. Is it official? Is David stalking Brodo?
Uh-huh. I'm done. Professional wrestler.
See my comment? See my comment?
Oh my god.
That's the best.
What
I
is
love those.
happening?
All right, we got more important things to do.
All right then. So, besides
This is great. I love
besides
it.
Raska stalking Brodo, we found out who that person was that was stalking Brodo earlier today.
Yeah.
It was Raska the whole time.
The whole time.
Oh, that's who pulled up at the studio.
Yep.
That's who was at the door.
Yeah.
He pulls off the mask.
Who's who was knocking on the...
It was me, Austin. It was me the whole time.
It was me, Austin.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, son of a bitch. Anyway.
All right, so we do have the top 20 trade bait guys so far.
We do. All right, so let's go down the line. Let's take a look and see what we have on the chopping block.
Before you
All right,
start,
so-
real quick, one guy that won't be on the trade block, I don't think he would have to begin with, though, Thomas Hurdle. Did you hear the news about him today? He's
Oh, I heard about him. Unfortunately, out for the rest of the year. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
He tore his ACL and MCL.
Oh,
Done for the year.
Oh,
That's a
man.
shame. That's a shame. He was having a good year, too.
Ooh.
Finally getting his chance. It's his time to really shine in the sun and that happens. That's so unfortunate. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for the team. I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for the team and him.
Fuck the Sharks. Anyway. So we're going to start at 20. I got the top 20 here. Number 20 right now is, and this is bound to change because I have two names that aren't on this list that could be added. Jeff Petrie from Montreal, defenseman, 32 years old. And, all right, so I can't really get into all that because this is actually just a photo. Number 19, Josh Anderson, right winger from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Marco Scandella at 18, left-handed defenseman. 29-year-old. At 17, we got Kyle Turris from Nashville, who we just saw tonight. Had a fairly good game with Nashville. At 16, Craig Smith, who's a right winger. Robin Lanier, goaltender from the Chicago Blackhawks. Ryan Donato, who I would be interested in Anaheim, a left winger out of Minnesota. Ron Hainsey, a defenseman out of Ottawa, who I think would be, when we talked a couple weeks ago, would be a good seventh defenseman for the Flyers. Good guy to just rotate in. Alex Galchenyuk, who just arrived in Pittsburgh, is on the trade block at 25 years old. Brendan Dillon from San Jose, defenseman. At 10, we got the Carolina first-round pick because I don't think the Hurricanes are really looking to shop anybody. Maybe bring somebody in, but they're definitely not looking to sell anybody off.
Oh, so that could be a piece that's up there in the rankings in terms of what maybe people might trade for.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. At number 9, we got Andres Athanasiou from Detroit, 25-year-old left winger.
Best name in hockey.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I want him on the Flyers just for that reason.
Yes.
Number 8, we got Sami Vatanen from the New Jersey Devils, a right-handed defenseman. Shane Gostisbehere from the Flyers at 7. Tyler Toffoli, a guy we were talking about, is at 6.
Yes, I've been wanting Toffoli on the Flyers for years.
I know. Since we talked about that
His
last
whole
when you were on the
12
show,
goals.
and again you with Brian, yeah, his whole 12. You could pick that up though. You put a little more good quality pieces around him. But we brought him up, and a couple days later, the Kings, basically announced, or didn't officially announce, because you don't officially announce those things, but the rumor mill started churning that he was indeed on the block, and I was like, man, he's gonna be so happy.
Oh yes, because you know what the best part is too. The Kings are an old trading partner of ours. We love talking with those guys.
Yeah, well, the name I'm hearing out of for between Philadelphia and LA is not that.
What is it?
Jeff Carter.
Why? What did we get Jeff Carter back?
That's just a rumor I'm hearing. Jeff Carter back to the Flyers.
What?
Yeah, I've heard that a lot as well.
Like now? Like recently?
No. It's just a rumor.
Jesus. I don't know.
Just a rumor.
Just a rumor.
There's just a lot of what's being said that's going on between the Flyers and the Kings is the return of Jeff Carter. This next one here is kind of confusing me. It's actually Alexander Georgiev, goaltender from the New York Rangers.
Huh.
This is confusing me because Henrik Lundqvist is probably going to retire within the next year or two.
Yeah.
Right? Why are you going to shop a 23-year-old goaltender who has the potential to take the reins with a 3.06 goals against? It makes no sense to me.
The only sense it could make is if there's a better quality talent that's going to be in the next year's draft pool for goaltender.
Maybe they have somebody better than Georgiev waiting down in the AHL.
Yeah, true that too.
I
Yep.
mean,
maybe.
I'm pretty sure Buffalo will probably trade for that immediately, but that's just me.
Buffalo, you said?
Yeah.
No, they got Carter Hutton. They're good.
Oh, they got Hutton? Oh,
got
I
Hutton.
forgot they had Hutton.
At number 4, we got J.G. Pajau, who's 27-year-old centerman out of Ottawa.
That's my trade target. I think he can be had. I think he's an unrestricted free agent next season. The salary's not unworldly. There still will have to be some maneuvers. The Flyers have very little cap space, especially to take on. You said Jeff Carter before. You'd have
Carter's a bigger cap issue than J.G. Pajau would
right.
be.
And to the point, I was having a discussion. I forget the dude's name, but he made a good point. It's like you're gonna, have to trade a piece to make the money work for an old rental. And I'm like, yeah, you make a good point.
That's why if you're going to do it, you could shoot younger with a Toffoli or maybe an Antanasiu or something like that. And even a low risk like an Antanasiu may be a little bit more beneficial.
Well, Tyler Toffoli is turning out to be just like Tanner Pearson. He's just kind of like a flash in the pan. Toffoli is better than Pearson, but he's in the middle of his prime. He's at 27 years old, Toffoli is, and he's kind of fallen off a bit. And maybe he just needs to change scenery to spark him back up. Seems to be what Tanner Pearson needed. He's playing very well in Vancouver right now.
Right.
So you never really know.
Right. Quick question about Toffoli. Would you trade? I mean, I think you'd have to get something else back, like maybe a pick as well. But would you trade Gostisbehere for Toffoli?
I would consider it. I mean, only because even though it would be us pulling the trigger on Gostisbehere, but it's like maybe he needs a change of scenery, possibly. Think about it. Maybe it's a win-win in this regard. We trade someone who's not working right now here in Philly, and we bring in someone who could be working in Philly, and also add more offensive depth, possibly.
And he was showing a much more return to former form before the injury.
Yeah.
Stock would be up, in other words.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I would consider it. It would have to be at least a 3rd round pick, in my opinion.
Probably, yeah.
At least. I mean, you're getting about the same age back. You're getting better point production out of Toffoli, obviously being a forward, and which is something that the Flyers needed a little bit more of, is a little more scoring depth, and you will get that with Toffoli for sure. Moving on to number 3, even though he had just arrived, Ilya Kovalchuk is on the trade block in Montreal.
Read that earlier today as well.
Shit.
Number 2.
I take Ilya.
The way he's playing right now?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
7 goals in what? I guess that other list here is 25 games.
Does he still have a really bad contract, or
No.
is that not anymore?
No. I think it's like a $750,000 contract plus incentives.
Okay,
Right.
then so that's
what could make it affordable with the Flyers cap.
That's a low risk. That's not a bad avenue to explore. I mean, what's the worst? He doesn't pan out. It's like, all right, fine.
36
trade
years
us.
old.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to give up as much, say, as for J.G. Paggio with the Senators. I mean, he's a talent, I think, that you'd have to give up, a young prospect for, unfortunately.
This next guy, me and you talked about last week as coming in as a defenseman for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, who?
Alec Martinez.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 on the list, Alec Martinez is available.
That's not a bad option to slide into Philadelphia. I like Alec. I like his game.
Yep.
And number 1 is a guy that I'm hearing a lot of is Chris Kreider.
Yes.
And we knew that Chris Kreider was on the block well before the trade bait came out. But being as close to the trade deadline as we are, about a little less than a month away. About that, maybe a little more.
It's
maybe a little
February
less.
26th, I
February
believe. Is the
26th,
deadline.
okay.
I'll
All
look
right,
it
so
up.
we're a little less. We're a little less from the trade deadline. So the buzz is going to start going. Some names out there I would personally like.
24th.
Ryan Donato, I would like to see.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to see him in Anaheim. Young guy, 23 years old.
Great lineage, too.
Mm-hmm. Being Ted Donato's son.
Yeah.
Just in the top 20, I mean, Ryan Donato, maybe Alex Galchenyuk, maybe Andres Athanasiou. But in order for that to happen, we need to clear some space. And in order for that to happen, I got 2 names, possibly 3. I hope the third one isn't true. I've heard 2 names being shopped around by Anaheim. 2 big names. 1, Jakob Silfverberg.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Which makes sense. I would be okay with dealing him. He's 28, 29 years old. Finding his prime, finding his scoring touch. By the time Anaheim is probably ready to start competing again, he's going to be about 32, 33 years old.
Okay.
Might be time for him to go off to a competitor and get a fair chance to win.
Okay.
Number 2, it came as a bit of a shock to me.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't expect it. Is Ryan Getzlaf is apparently on the trade block.
I mean, if they are planning on transitioning to a new generation, I can see where they're going with it. I'm not saying that Getzlaf is bad or anything like that, or he's not.
No, he's had one of the best seasons he's had in a while.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I can see if they're planning on doing a rebuild.
I can do that.
Or at least a retool.
He hit it like 50
feet. I could honestly see why they would put Getzlaf on the trade block, because they want to move to the next generation. And start
he's
to build.
he's got some of the most. He's got probably the most trade value on him right now. You can get a haul for him, but the problem is his full no movement clause. Apparently, he's only got 3 teams that he would be willing to move to.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Edmonton, Vegas, and Arizona.
Out of those three, I'm trying to think. I could see him landing in Arizona because I could see them throwing money at him.
I see him going to Edmonton.
Oh yeah. Well, now that you
And I see a
mention it-
young stud coming our way.
Who?
You know. He wears number 97.
Goldberg?
Yep. Adam Banks.
Adam Banks, yeah.
No, for real though, it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is coming back
Ooh.
the other way. Wears number 93.
Ooh.
I mean,
So he that would be a cap issue thing that they would have to figure out. Like from what I understand, the rumored deal is Ryan Getzlaf for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and there's going to be other pieces a part of it. But
Damian
hopefully you can
Pri-
get. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say there's just bits and pieces. Get like a first Nugent-Hopkins first round pick, maybe a prospect, about maybe borderline NHL ready.
okay.
Damian Price goes, no, not Ryan Getzlaf.
I'm thinking the same thing, Damian, man. I don't want to see him go, but it might be time to start really putting his rebuild mode into full swing. And I honestly believe that if you trade Ryan Getzlaf right now, you're really taking 2 steps forward into the rebuild and taking some time off it.
Yeah, that would be.
You hold on to Adam Henrique, who is another name I've heard. Josh Manson, I heard, is another name that's on the trade block too. You got to move some of these vets and some of these guys who have big contracts to make room for some of these other guys.
I would not mind the Flyers trying to see if they can get Adam Henrique. I wouldn't mind that
No!
at all. What?
No,
Well, what's wrong with
No.
us getting Adam Henrique?
I love Adam Henrique.
I would like Adam Henrique too.
No, no,
What?
he's ours.
The money's right.
Well, he just signed a nice new contract anyway.
You
so
want Goss to spare? I'll give you Goss to spare.
That wouldn't work then.
no, we got
cap
plenty of
situation.
defensemen.
No, not really. Yeah, but oh well.
We just signed him a nice new contract. He's ours for the next 5 years.
No. But you said he was on the block.
I said he might be on the block. That's not
Might
confirmed.
is.
That's not
you know.
confirmed. Getzlaf has been confirmed. Silverberg's been confirmed. Mason's been confirmed.
I'm going to try to say this name. Sean Shiabarazi. I hope I got that right.
This sounds closer than I ever got.
Goes to Foley, blah. And you know what? I get it. You know what I mean? He has been underperforming, the last 2 seasons?
Couple.
Yeah, but that whole team has just been a
Right.
And like I
disaster
said
for the most
earlier,
part,
change of
you know?
scenery
Agreed.
could spark them, especially if you put them on a line with a guy like Couturier or Giroux.
I mean, I know it didn't pan out with Taylor Hall.
Or even
but-
Voracek.
But I know it didn't pan out immediately with Taylor Hall, but look at what yep. But here's a good point though. Look at what Taylor Hall did when he first showed up on the Devils. He kind of found new life. Yeah, it didn't work out, but now he's in Arizona and he's finding new life again.
Yeah, but
sometimes changing locations isn't the worst thing in the whole world for some.
And I agree
Agreed.
to an extent, but you got to look at 2 big things here. One more than the other. Age. Taylor Hall made the move when he was like 24.
That is true. Yes,
And
I'll give you that.
Tyler Toffoli is 27. I don't know Toffoli's contract. I think he's an unrestricted free agent at the
Yes.
end of the year.
Okay.
And I could definitely see him being moved. It's uncertainty, really. His play has been down. You really,
Sorry.
you're right. A change of scenery can help, and I'm a big believer in that. And you see it with certain players. But like I said,
Right.
the age difference between the comparisons, you don't really know what you're going to get.
Well,
But I do think if he can come to Philadelphia with Couturier, with Giroux, he might be able to spark JVR. Voracek being the good passer that he is could help spark Tyler Toffoli.
and to keep the
Right.
Kings moniker up, getting an Alec Martinez would be perfectly fine with me to add something to the defensive side of things. I wouldn't be against that either. And as for, if you want to make a splash, you could try and go get Pajot, like you were saying.
Yeah, I would
if
like
you
him.
want to make the big splash, but that's if you want to. I wouldn't necessarily say you have to.
The guy I would go after, I'm looking for defenseman, is Alec Martinez. His contract is a little up there, but he's a great leader. He's a guy who's won the Stanley Cup twice, so
Yeah.
that brings more leadership to the back end
I
for
mean,
these young guys.
Here's the thing. If you do a package where you send Goss to spare away and
Unfortunately, you might have to include Braun in that deal. Maybe send him back the other way, or a younger guy to send back the other way, because I know LA wants to get younger.
I mean, if you do send Braun away, I mean, it's like, is that as big of a loss? No. But you don't necessarily want to say goodbye to Braun if he's
Stop
being a
blowing
solid
up my
veteran,
phone.
which he has been. But, I mean, you got to – what's the old saying? You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
That is
you
the
know?
saying.
So, I mean, like, you got to make some tough decisions. Good God, now what?
All you have to know is that. Apparently, I'm being told we need to move on.
Okay.
What?
So, anyway.
I didn't say anything.
Well,
Continue to talk to Roscoe.
So hold on.
I'm
Okay,
not
so
talking
out
to
of that,
anybody.
so what me and
You're
Rob will
talking to me.
do,
Yeah.
you got anything you want to throw out there?
well, you were asking about some contract situations, so I was just quickly looking that up.
Okay.
Alec Martinez is not an unrestricted free agent until the 21-22 season.
So you
would
get another full year.
You would at $4 million.
It's not bad.
I mean,
At
it's not
4.15 this season,
That's not bad. That's about what you're paying Gossesper.
right?
Which
yeah, it is equivalent. Yeah.
it's not a bad option. I think we should consider that. I think that out of the names that I was seeing in that, the 5 that I'm looking at right now, I would say Toffoli because you know what, it is. Is it really that much of a risk if he doesn't work out? It's like he's an unrestricted free agent by the end of the year. It's like
Yeah, but what are you
whatever.
giving up? That's the question.
What
What
are
are
you
you giving up?
What are you giving up? Well, that's the next big question you ask, you know? I would say, really, at the end of the day, no matter who we're going after, you're giving up Gostisbehere. Out of anybody that's on this team that's leaving, it would be him. Nobody else. I can't think of anybody else immediately off the top of my head.
And you would
I don't
have
think
to,
you're get. I don't think Gossesper is enough to get a guy like an Alec Martinez. I think you got to give up somebody younger.
Package deal could work, yeah. Well, when you were saying Braun, I'm not.
But
I'm just relaying a message. That's all I'm doing.
If you were, if you give up Justin Braun, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, has he played well in the Flyers? He has. But again, it's like he's a journeyman defenseman when you think about it. He did play on a while for San Jose, but it's like, it's not us cutting off our arm.
he's solid.
He's solid, yeah.
But, if you can get an upgrade, you go for an upgrade. You'd have to give up some pieces here because Toffoli's $4.8 million, this season and an unrestricted free agent next season.
4.8. Yeah, that would take me out of the running for Tyler Toffoli.
Right.
He's overpaid and not enough production. I wouldn't even touch him anymore.
Right.
Knowing that.
Now JG, he $3.4 million. And
That's more
unrestricted,
okay. I
That's
would go
actually very pleasant.
for
that
20
contract.
goals so far in the season. Absolutely.
Right.
That's a nice. You can go down that route, and then, Antonisiu, I think might not actually be much of a risk, and I think he may actually be helpful to adding to our forward depth possibly.
Right.
So
Bottom 6 player. That's all you need to know.
but
Fast.
hey, at the end of the day, though, he could be a huge support for that entire bottom 6 right there, and a possibility.
I agree. I'm getting dirty looks over here. We got to move on.
I don't know.
Competing. So
Fuck yourself.
Fuck yo.
I love that one. That was my. It's my favorite one.
oh man.
But
right.
yeah, we'll win a cup before you guys. It'll be fun.
We'll see. All right. So with that
At least
being,
I got to see one race in my lifetime. You got to see one too, didn't you?
Huh?
You got to see one too, didn't you?
See what?
A cup raised
Yeah.
by your team?
No.
No?
78, man.
Oh.
Yeah, just after.
Why did I think it was 76?
how old do you think Rob is? Jesus.
I'm 61 years old.
Oh man.
Yes, he did.
I know he was floating around that time. What? How old do you think he is?
I think
Close enough.
I think that I plead the
I
fifth.
just missed
but
it.
I
anyway,
believe the fifth.
I've been the jinx for the Flyers while they haven't gotten a cup. And I've been told that they won't win a cup until this beard fills out. So we're fucked.
It's like, welcome to the new game show. How old is Rob Povia?
Well, just be happy you can at least grow some facial hair because I know some people that can't.
okay.
Guinea don't crack.
So guys, how about that? That new Mighty Ducks series.
Yeah,
I did want to touch upon that.
Listen,
before
I've
we
been
got
trying.
off.
Yeah.
I've been trying.
Go ahead, lead it.
Why
Mr.
am I
Duck.
leading it?
I don't know, because you're wearing the Duck jersey.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
would make
why.
Yeah, fair
pretty
enough.
makes sense, right?
I don't really know much about it. All I know is it's going to be on Disney Plus. Emilio Estevez is reprising the role of Gordon Bombay. That's all I know.
Which automatically makes it awesome. Don't care if they get a really crappy cast. It's still going to be awesome.
Poor
I just-
Emilio. He's got to go back to old characters.
That's what happens when you're
But
the
this
Who's
It's
lower on the
iconic.
food chain now, him or Charlie? Come on
It's
now.
still Charlie.
Yeah.
It'll always
Absolutely,
be Charlie.
Charlie's
Yeah,
doing.
HIV kind of does that, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
The HIV.
Viewer discretion is advised.
We had the
Um,
HIV dropped on us.
Viewer discretion is advised.
No, I mean, Emilio Estevez is going back into acting to take over a role. Charlie Sheen is doing fucking
Coke?
pharma commercials
Yeah,
with his dad.
Yeah, truth.
Which
Truth.
character are you most excited to see, Brian?
I don't even know who else is going to be in there.
If you could choose one.
Connie Moreau.
Oh, God, dear God. Should have known.
She still looks good.
You would know.
I would know.
You would know.
I would know.
You know what? I want to see the Bash Brothers.
Yeah.
I want to see them again.
Rob?
I don't even remember the movies too well, to be honest with you.
So Mr. Ducksworth?
Yeah, definitely.
Is he still alive?
I don't think he
That's
is.
a serious question. I'm not trying to be an asshole. That's a legit question. Is he still alive?
I don't know. Look it up.
Maybe he could.
You
Maybe
got
he
your
could.
you got your fancy
You
damn
have the
phone
power
right
of the
there.
internet literally in your hand.
I will. I tell you what. I will go back and watch them now. I will go back and watch them, and then potentially watch these series because, in the land of the reboot, which seems to be Hollywood these days or whatnot.
Yeah, there's another Power Rangers reboot coming out now too.
Is there really?
Yep.
Yeah, they're rebooting the whole series with a whole new cast.
But for the most part, they've been done pretty well, though. I mean, maybe minus Murphy Brown, but even
Oh my God, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh, I was still looking forward to it.
But I mean, the Connors is a great example too. I mean, they even lived on past that Roseanne Barr fiasco on Twitter.
It's actually doing better.
Yeah.
He was born in 1934, so it's 2020. He'd be like 90 something, late 80s.
Yeah.
Dust
I
them
don't
off.
Dust them off.
Dust them off.
Let's roll.
All right, let's go. You're gonna be Mr. Ducksworth again.
Listen, I'm ecstatic. I really hope Keenan Thompson comes back.
Yeah.
I think he will.
It's knuckle puck
that was
time.
him. Really?
Yes.
Wow. Cool.
All right, so here's what I think is going to happen with the show. They're going to definitely have cameos. They have to.
Well, of course.
And I think it's going to wind up being people like so a few years ago, I guess it was during the 25th anniversary, a bunch of the old characters were reprising roles as their former Duck characters. And, who's that wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey?
Tony
Is that Tiger?
Finau.
It is?
They say
Tiger's
I
not
have
playing
ADD.
this week.
I don't know. I can't really
Brian.
say. Anyway, so Connie Moreau was doing it. Tommy Duncan was a part of it. The kid who played Adam Banks was a part of it. Keenan Thompson was a part of it. So, I mean, I could see those guys doing cameos, maybe even Dave Karp, who could potentially be a part of it. So, I mean, I see cameos from guys like that. I would like to see Charlie make a cameo.
Is it going to be like a new set of kids, or they're just recreating the characters of the original movie?
I have a funny feeling it's going to be a whole new set of kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
I think so
That
too.
he's growing older. He's just coaching a new crop of kids.
Maybe it'll be like the children of the originals.
Ooh. Very Fuller House.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
That's depressing.
It
That
is
would be
right
it.
up that style,
Why?
though, when
Why?
you think about reboots.
Why?
It does fit it.
Because I don't want it
True.
to be like that. I don't want it to be just like, oh, we all have kids. Let's put them all on the same hockey team together. I don't like that idea.
Who hurt you?
A lot of people. All right,
Scarred for life.
cue that sad music. We'll get into it.
All right.
So when I was younger, I was about 5 years old. It all started
And
back
I was-
on a rainy Sunday.
And I was
It was
going to my,
1995.
and I was going to my first figure skating class,
I couldn't draw the figure eight.
and it all started from there.
I was playing hockey outside in front of my house, and I took my little Mighty Ducks jumpsuit off, revealed my jersey, and then I tripped and fell, and I was like, fuck this game, I quit.
And it turned out not to be a Mighty Ducks jersey. It was a Devils jersey.
No.
Yuck.
No, I didn't steal that until high school. My brother is a Devils fan. I stole his jerseys once in a while.
All right, Maddie, it's time to go.
Apparently.
Oh, God.
I'm so sad. It was a Marty Brodeur jersey and
okay.
Dave Andrewchuk.
It's okay, Rob. You'll make it through it. I know you will.
I have,
You're strong.
I have a psychology degree. We'll talk after the show.
Yeah, please, I need help.
With my fist.
Yes.
There's a fucking baseball bat right there. I'm just saying.
God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
I'm just saying this is right here.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
If you touch that, Tom will rip your head off.
If fists, I'm just saying, if fists come flying at me, I'm going to defend myself. I'll get him another one.
Maddie, who are we brought to you by? Maddie, who are we brought to you by, Maddie?
I think Brodo wants to get out of here. He's had enough of
We're
this.
brought to you by Brodo
Oh, look,
being
it's Raska.
impatient, but actually, no. We're brought to you by Mr. Ducksworth. And specialized physical
I
therapy.
was going to say, with fist flying, you might need some specialized physical therapy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially after I crack you with that bat.
Anyway, if you have any pains from anything, whether you just got some
I got pulled muscle here.
inside,
Go see
or
Mr.
you
Paul
slept on
Vidal.
something funny, or you got into a fist fight and someone was a chicken shit and grabbed a bat instead of doing it like a man does. Basically, at the end of the day, you can always go to specialized physical therapy, because all those pains and aches, they will just go away forever and ever and ever and ever. And all you gotta do is find Mr. Dr. Paul Vidal, and he'll take care of you at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com. And that is the Hockey Happy Hour here on A2DRadio.com. Matt Sassuti, the Broken One, Rob Povia. Oh, and what is the Seattle team's name, Mr. Daly?
Potentially the Kraken. It's just reports right now, nothing official.
All right, then. And that is the Darkwing for you. And behind the board is the sign guy, Mr. Ryan.
We missed a lot. We missed
Brodo.
some good conversation, especially about reboots.
Topanga is fire.
Topanga is fire.
Fire. That's what Steph said. She said Topanga is fire.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Listen, she's like a fine wine. She gets better every year.
Topanga is fire.
Donica McKellar, too. Winnie Cooper.
Oh, they won't know Winnie Cooper.
She's
I
super
know
smart.
who-
now,
I know.
too.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody knows Winnie Cooper.
Topanga is fire.
Topanga is fire.
Topanga is fire.
Topanga is fire.
Okay, so we thank you all for joining us
She lights
for
my fire.
this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. We will see you guys next week. I actually won't be here, but these two gentlemen will be. And they will
It's going to be pure chaos next week. I'm just saying.
and
Maddie, I live day to day, man. There's no guarantees.
Well, let's just think positive.
It
and
might
you
just
will
be me
here,
next
okay?
week.
Hopefully, I'll be here.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
Brian.
think positive. Rob will
I'll
be
be
here.
here.
Oh, no.
Brian will be here for his next therapy session. And
Roscoe, I might need you to fill in next week.
No!
actually, yeah, that would be Roscoe. We're inviting you to fill in for us, but
sorry, did I
you're
yell?
invited to fill in for me.
Yes.
And then as for Brodo, he'll may be here,
Yeah.
depending if Roscoe shows up.
I gotta
or
make
not.
it home.
But anyway, all right.
You're going to start driving. He's going to peek up from behind your seat.
It's like, hi, Brodo.
Brian, can I borrow your car?
No.
Can we switch cars? Hey, guys, can I come over? No!
Guys, I'm here.
All right, Maddie, get me out. Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
We thank you for joining us for this week on the Hockey Happy Hour. We will see you guys next week on it.
Well, I will. He won't.
I won't.
I might.
He will. He will. Brodo maybe.
Live from the well.
We'll see if he's still
Roscoe
alive.
may. And we'll see you guys next week or whatever on A2DRadio.com. Damn it. All right. Peace, guys.
Topanga is fire.